Hey, I just watched Smile. It was written and directed by Parker Finn and is his directorial debut, and it's based off of a short film that he wrote and directed a couple of years ago called Laura Hasn't Slept. It stars Sosie Bacon, whom is the daughter of Kevin Bacon, Kyle Gallner, who you may have seen earlier this year in the new Scream movie, Jessie T. Usher, who you will recognize from The Boys, and also Cal Penn from Harold Kumar fame has a small part in this movie. The plot of this film is that a mental health doctor, played by Sosie Bacon, witnesses a patient commit suicide in front of them, and then they start to experience frightening things that they can't explain. And really, that's all I can tell you without being overly spoilery. So let's just get right into the movie itself. It's a generic horror movie, but that doesn't make it bad. There can be generic horror movies that still stand out, and I really think this is one of them. There's a movie a couple years ago that also comes to mind. I feel like is in vein of this, and that would be Come Play. It had Gillian Jacobs in it, and it kind of fits the same mold. It's pretty well acted from the lead. Sosie Bacon was fantastic, and I really think she holds up most of the movie. I'd say most of the side characters aren't overly important or matter very much. The movie deals a lot with mental health. While I feel like it's still a light overview of mental health, I can tell that this was written by someone who's probably had a lot of experiences with either mental health issues in their own family or just from their own personal experiences themselves having mental health issues. It's very evident to me that at the heart of this film, there's a big story here about mental health and dealing with mental health issues. So that's a strong point of the movie, and I think that's a good thing. I am so glad Paramount let this movie have an R rating. I can't believe they did that. I think maybe this has something to do with it going to streaming and they weren't worried about the rating. Because I have a feeling this would have been pushed to be PG-13 otherwise. But because it was allowed to have an R rating, the movie is a much more brutal film. And I can already tell you we would be having the conversation of, I wish it was R-rated R if it hadn't been PG-13. I just assumed it was going to be PG-13 because of the type of movie that it was being marketed to be as. Another point on the marketing, which is also just a pro, I think they marketed the gimmick of this film pretty well. It sounds negative to say that it's a gimmick, but the movie has a gimmick. The whole thing with the smiling is a gimmick. But it's cool. They did some really cool real world stuff. I'm sure some of you have probably seen some news on it. They had like people at baseball games and stuff in the crowd just smiling very eerily, right? And I think this movie has pretty good marketing, and I think it deserves some props. The movie has some jump scares, but not too many. It's not overwhelming most of the time. And most of the ones that I saw in this movie, I can tell they thought them out. Most movies, especially movies like this, are going to have jump scares. I knew it would. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's only when they're abused and just done very poorly, or not even made for real scares, and they're just fake, false scares, which I don't even think this had any, really. Maybe one. On the con side of things, there was some questionable CGI. There was one sequence that's very CGI, effects heavy, where I almost feel like it was intentionally supposed to be kind of goofy and it's so over the top that it is a little laughable. I had an audience member next to me laugh a little bit, and I did too, because it was just so silly. And the CGI wonkiness didn't help. I don't know what the budget was for this movie. I'm sure it wasn't terribly high, though. I thought they did pretty good with the budget they had. The movie is definitely very heavily inspired by things like The Ring. Just know that that's the kind of movie you're going to get. It's very much based off the same thoughts and ideas, including even just act structure and just the way the movie flows. I'm not going to fault the movie for that. Imitation's the greatest form of flattery, right? So it's fine, but just something you should be aware of. I'll probably watch it again later. I think it has some rewatchable value. Again, it is very entertaining. I keep throwing this generic horror movie word around, and I stand by that. The movie is generic. It's not going to blow you away if you've seen a lot of horror movies in the last, several years. This fits the same mold. It's just a very good popcorn movie. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I can't help but not praise the movie for, being generic but still entertaining and very likable. I think that regular audiences definitely are going to like this movie. And I think horror fanatics will too. There's a lot to like here. I'm telling you right now, this is going to launch Parker Finn's career in the industry. I don't really know what he was doing prior to this. I'm sure he worked in the industry some. I don't know how he was able to get this movie greenlit at Paramount, but he made it happen, and I'm really glad that he did. From what I could tell, Paramount was going to put this straight to streaming on Paramount Plus, and audience reception was so positive they decided to get a theatrical release, and I really think it deserves it. Yeah, I guess that about wraps it up. Obviously, I've been very favorable of this movie. I really did enjoy it. I think you will too. I think it's a really good date night movie. If you can bring a significant other with you this weekend and go see Smile, I think you'll be very happy and you'll leave with a smile on your face. Don't do that. Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to click that like button down below. Maybe consider subscribing if you're not already. And leave me a comment if you saw the movie. I'd love to know what you thought. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching this video. Bye. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see my latest review, you can check that out right here. And if you like vocal covers, well, I have a vocal cover channel. You can check that out over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.